Hello guys, I'm Andres from Voice Workflows AI. Welcome to another video. And in this video, we're going to take a look at a new feature by ElevenLabs called Voiceover Studio, which is pretty much set to revolutionize the way you work with AI voices if you use them on content such as educational videos, presentations, or any sort of faceless content. So this is going to be an exciting one. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright guys, so first things first, in order to try out this feature, you're going to need an ElevenLabs account. If you don't have one yet, I am going to leave a link in the description below so you can subscribe to the platform. The second step would be requesting alpha access because, as I have said, this feature is brand new and it is still in alpha. To do that, you're going to need the link I will leave in the description as well. So once you have been granted access, you're going to find this feature in your main tab here as Voiceover Studio. So as you can see, the initial interface is pretty simple. You can give your voiceover project a name. You can optionally upload a video, which is what we're going to do to test this feature because, in my opinion, the most useful aspect of this is the ability of adding voices and sounds directly on the video while seeing exactly where you are adding these voices and sounds. So we're going to be trying out this feature with a short video that I have found. This is an old footage of Rio de Janeiro beaches. It is a short video that is completely soundless. Let's check out a few seconds so you can see what we're going to be working with. So as you can see, it is a pretty simple footage, as I have said. No sound, no voices, no music, no nothing. So this is what we're going to be working with. Now we're going to go ahead and click on Create Studio. Let's wait a few seconds until it loads. Okay, so here we are in the main interface of the Voiceover Studio. Let's go ahead and check out what are our starting points. We have a movable and playable video thumbnail. We have a main background track. So any sounds associated to this video would be here. We can zoom in or out. Let's go ahead and zoom out a bit so our whole video fits in the timeline. We can add voiceover tracks. We can add sound effects tracks as well. Let's go ahead and add one of each. We can add other languages to work with, which would be very useful if we would like to work with this video in several languages. This would allow to streamline our workflow pretty neatly. Now let's go ahead and add some voice to our voiceover track. To do that, you just need to hover over this track. A green box is going to appear. Click wherever you'd like to add the voice. It doesn't matter if you are not sure. You are going to see we can move around each generation. So let's go ahead and try it here. Now let me add a script that I have pre-made for this. Now, before clicking on Generate Audio, let's go over the controls we have available for the voiceover track. We have a settings control where we can pick the voice. In this case, we're going to use nightly. We have some voice controls such as stability, similarity, and style. Pretty classic by now if you have used ElevenLabs already. And we have the option to make this a solo track. If we only want to hear this track, we have that ability with all other tracks as well. So now let's go ahead and click on Generate Audio. There we have it. Let's play it out.
In 1985, Rio de Janeiro's beaches were more than just stretches of sand. They were dynamic arenas of culture, recreation, and commerce.
So as I said, one cool feature of the Voiceover Studio is that you can move around your generations. So if you don't like where you generated this voice in the first place, you can always move it where you'd like or see more fit. So this is very useful if you're working with a video that needs voices in very specific places, voices or sound effects. With a playable video thumbnail and the ability to move around the generations, you can achieve right that. So now let's go ahead and try out some sound effects. For this, you need to do as you did in the voiceover track. Just hover over the sound effects tracks, click where you'd like to add generations, and don't pay too much attention on the initial point, because remember, you can always move it around. So we are going to see a sound effects track prompt box, appear. And remember that here you need to add a prompt, not a script. So now let's go ahead and try the ambience sounds of a beach with the sounds of sea, wind, and seagulls. Let's go ahead and click on generate audio. Okay, there we have it. So now let's use the solo track feature so we can listen to this generation only and see what we got. So yeah, that sounded pretty realistic. Now let's try both tracks together.
In 1985, Rio de Janeiro's beaches were more than just stretches of sand. They were dynamic arenas of culture, recreation, and commerce.
So straight ahead, you probably noticed that the sound effect is overpowering the voice. So this is a cool feature that the VoiceOver Studio provides as well, which is volume control. Let's go ahead and drop the volume of the sound effect. So the voice over track stands out, which is probably the goal for this type of videos. Let's listen again.
In 1985, Rio de Janeiro's beaches were more than just stretches of sand. They were dynamic arenas of culture, recreation, and commerce.
So as you can see, that sounded much better after dropping down the volume of the sound effect a bit. Now, another cool feature of the VoiceOver Studio is the trim tool. Say we would like a shorter generation here, we can always trim it a bit. So that is very handy as well. Now let's go ahead and jump over to the finished project so we can see how this looks when it is finished, and we can explore the additional functionality of this VoiceOver Studio at that point. Okay guys, so here we are in the finished project. So as you can see, besides the main track, I have one voice track and one sound effects track. So as I'm working with only one voice, I rename this to narration. And since I am doing only ambient sounds for this project, I rename this to ambience. So of course, if you were working with, say, music, it would make sense to add a second sound effects track for that. And if you were doing multiple voices, it would probably make more sense to separate each voice in individual tracks. So basically for the narration, I pretty much expanded on the script I showed you in the previous example. Each generation is a part of the script. And for the ambient sounds, I reused the same prompt to recreate the sea and beach sounds. So as of now, and something to take into account, the VoiceOver Studio doesn't allow to duplicate generations, which would be ideal for similar ambient sounds, since it is pretty difficult to get exact generations when you retry to use the same prompt. So what I did until that feature is added here is basically using the same prompt over and over again. And something else to notice here is that I included a duration keyword in my prompt. So basically I noticed that by including some sort of duration in your prompt, such as 20 seconds, it makes it more likely to get longer audios in your sound effects generations. So for example, notice here, even though I didn't get 20 seconds ambient sounds, I did get longer generations that I would have otherwise if I didn't include this. So something else to take into account is that as of now, the VoiceOver Studio doesn't allow for duplication of the generations, which would be ideal for ambient sounds. If you get one sound that you like, it would make the most sense to be able to duplicate it throughout the track. But as of now, it is not available, even though one of the developers did mention to me that it was coming and it was being worked on. So hopefully we'll get that in the coming days or weeks. So once you are all ready with your project and you are happy as it is, the next step is to export it. To that, you just need to use the export function here. And you have the option to export it as an MP4 video. Also, you have some audio and caption options. Once you click on export, you'll generate the file here and you'll be able to view it or download it. And yep, that is pretty much it, guys. I am going to include the finished video of this project at the end of this video you're watching, so you can see how it all ended up. If you like this type of content, do remember that I have a newsletter. I will leave a link in the description below so you can check it out. We do deeper dives on this type of content there. So yep, if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you got any sort of value from it. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
In 1985, Rio de Janeiro's beaches were more than just stretches of sand. They were dynamic arenas of culture, recreation, and commerce. Health and vitality are cornerstones of beach culture here, with the oceanfront serving as both gym and social club under the open sky. Football, a national passion, finds its informal pitches here, where skill and laughter mix freely in spirited games. Enterprising spirits thrive along the bustling promenade, where each vendor's call adds a unique note to the day's soundtrack. Fashion, too, tells its own story, with the iconic mini bikinis reflecting the era's bold and carefree spirit. As daylight fades, the rhythmic waves on Rio's beaches capture its cultural essence. Both lively and peaceful, these shores are cherished by locals and tourists alike.